Hi, I'm Reba. I'm going to show how to enter a pinwheel pattern on the Not So Rigid Designer app. I'm going to share my screen. I am logged into the app, and on the left, I'm in the pickup designer. I'm going to create a design. I'm going to call it New Pinwheel. And I want to display this pattern so you can see it well. And in the warp and in the weft, there are two colors that are alternated, and there's 8 threads of each color. I want to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 repeats of the pattern. So 9 times 8 is 72. I'm going to have 72 warp and 72 weft. And in the pinwheel pattern for the rigid heddle, there are 8 picks. 6 of those are using a pickup stick. 2 are plainweave, up and down. But to display this pattern in the Not So Rigid Designer app, you have to get a little creative. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to put in 8 as the number of the pickup patterns, and we only need 1 heddle for this. So I'm going to click create, and by default, it's black and white. I'll walk you through how to change the colors. Like I mentioned, there are 2 colors and they alternate 8 and 8 all across the warp. I'm going to select this purpley color, and I want to make sure, so I have the color, I'm in edit mode, so I can edit whatever I select will be changed. And I also need to make sure my I'm in all the right modes for, okay, so warp wood, we're just editing the color now. So I'm going to do 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The other color I'm going to alternate will be kind of this creamy beige. It will also be 8. All across, we're going to have 8 and 8. Let me make sure I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to stay in this color mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, this is a little tedious. Making sure I'm doing this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To change the warp color, you're clicking this very, very top box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's really the key with the Not So Rigid Designer app, is to remember to be in the right mode, the correct mode on this menu on the left. Otherwise, you can make all sorts of fun mistakes. And as you're working, don't forget to save. I worked on this whole huge pattern, forgot to save. I exited out and I lost all my work. And I'm going to go back to this purple color, and now it's a little easier to see which ones. Oops. I kind of messed up, but you can see that it's just a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to hit the cream color again. Oops, I did it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then now I can just click and drag. So I have the warp colors figured out. Now let's do the weft. So to change the weft color, it's the same thing. For the warp, we have this row at the very top. That's how we change the colors. For the weft, it's this row on the right hand side. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 repeats of the pattern. And then at the bottom and the top, we'll have plain weave. I'm going to start with the darker color. I'm going to make sure I've selected, I'm going to even make this small. You can change the size of the image by clicking small, medium, large, extra large. I want you to be able to see it. I'll keep it at medium perhaps. So I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to do this all the way up. 2, 3, 4. I think I'm counting properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And perhaps it'd be easier if I did each color. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, see right there, I did mess that up. So click on the color again. And then maybe I'll just do one color at a time. Go back to purple. I might have miscalculated somewhere. Yeah, it looks like I have too many purples here. 1, 2. Oh. And then, and my apologies. You can see kind of how I do it, and you can find a much better way to figure this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Okay. We're gonna go purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. There we go. We have all of our colors figured out in the warp and the weft. Now I want to go over the heddle. So there is one heddle, and the circle is a hole and the square is a slot. In order to make this pinwheel pattern work in this app, we'll have to reconfigure the heddle. So we're going to go to the warp, going to toggle hole slot. That will allow me to change. I want all of these to appear to be slots. That's the only way we can get this pattern in here correctly. So it allows me here now to manipulate every thread. By default, it assumes that you've entered or inserted the pickup stick with the heddle in the down position, which is what you do for pickup patterns. But with this pinwheel pattern, we're inserting the pickup stick in front of the heddle with the heddle in neutral. So I want all of these to, so heddle 1 is here at the bottom. I'm showing them all as slots, even though that's not the case. You've warped it whole slot, like a normal warp. Now we're going to put in the pickup patterns. So I'm using a pattern. I have it in a little book here. So I'll show you how it works. And I have my 8 pickup sticks. And in this pattern, 2 of these, there's 8 picks. 6 are using a pickup stick and 2 are plain weave. So we'll have to put in the plain weave picks in as a pickup pattern, just due to the challenges of this pickup pattern being different than a normal one, like I said. The first row, the first pick of this pattern is the reed is in neutral, and you go over 4 threads and you pick up 4 threads all the way across. And how that works in this app is to go over the threads means the pickup stick will be over the thread, will cover the thread, and to pick it up, it will go under the thread and the threads will be on top of the pickup stick. How that's represented in the Not So Rigid Designer app is when it's white, when the square is white, that means that the pickup stick is over the thread, kind of hiding the thread. So that's how I envision it in the app, is white means it's covered up. This first pick is over 4, and then you're picking up the second 4, and this is by block of color. So for this first block of purple, the pickup stick is over the 4 threads and it's under or picking up the second set of 4 threads. And that pattern will repeat all across the warp. So I'm going, once you have this first block here figured out, it's easy to look at it and replicate it across the warp. And I'm just clicking, and I've made sure that I'm yeah, I'm in warp. No, sorry. I always get a little confused. Weft edit sequence, warp toggle hole slot, color. Okay, so maybe there's no mode for editing the pickup sequence. Just by default, you can edit it at any time. That is something I hadn't noticed before. All right, so there is our first pick of the pattern. The second pick is the reed in neutral again. And for this one, we're going to go over 3 threads. So over means we're covering them. So there's the 3. Pick up 1. So we're going to pick up the next thread over 1. And then pick up 3. Let me make sure I got that right. Over 3, pick up 1, over 1, pick up 3. So we're going to repeat this one all the way across. And it is so much easier once you get that first one to just copy it all the way over. There we go. That's the second pick of the pattern. The third, reed in neutral, and we're going to go over 2 threads. Keep those white. We're going to pick up 1, over 1, pick up 1, over 1, and then pick up 2 threads. So it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes. There we go. I'm trying to be quick here. And just as a reminder, click save in case something happens. All right, so we've done 3 of the pickup patterns. The next 2 picks are plain weave. So on your rigid heddle, you would lift the heddle, pass the pick, put it in down position, pass the second pick. But because I've changed this so every warp thread appears to be going through a slot, And even though that's not the case, in order for the pattern to show in the app, I have to put in the plainweave pattern. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do them both at the same time. It's just, yeah. Yeah, I could do it that way, or I can just go every other one on this row and then do the next one. So this might be a little bit easier. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do the next one. So these are plain weave. And I'm trying not to go cross-eyed. Hopefully I get these all in here right. It might have been a little ambitious to do such a wide warp. All right, now I've just put in up, plain weave row with the heddle up, plain weave row with the heddle down, no pickup stick. Now we have two more picks in the pattern. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we have three more. My apologies. Okay. The next one is pick up 2 threads. So we're going to pick up 2, over 1, pick up 1, over 1, pick up 1, and then go over 2. We will repeat this 1, 2, 1, 2, like so. I'm making sure I have this right. So we've picked up 2 threads, over 1, pick up 1, over 1, pick up 1. Okay. I think we're doing this okay. It looks a little different than my first attempt because the first time I tried it, I forgot about the plain weave and I had to figure out how that would even work. So this does look different than my first attempt. We'll see if I have it right. Okay, there we go. Now we have 2 more to go. Row 7 is pick up 3. Yep. And over 1, pick up 1, and then over 3 threads. So we're picking up 3, right? Over 1, pick up 1, and then over 3. Okay, let's repeat this all the way over. There we go. Last pick in the pattern. Row 8. And it's going to be the opposite of our very first one. So it is pick up 4 and go over 4. We're picking up the first 4, over 4. And thought maybe I could click and drag, but looks like you have to click each one individually. There is the pattern. I missed one. I'm I'm just trying to glance it over. I think I got it right. So now we have all the picker patterns in there, the heddles configured, we have all our color groupings. To me, this is the fun part, when you get to put in the pattern or the pickups on the right-hand side. I want to make sure that we are in edit sequence mode. On the left, there's weft, so we're going to be editing the sequence. And I'm going to start at the bottom, as if I'm putting in the pattern like I'm weaving. This is the bottom. Let's say I've woven the header and I'm ready to start weaving. And I want to do 8 picks of plain weave. And my plain weave is D and E. I'm going to go at here, every column, it identifies what you're modifying. So H1 is the heddle. Right now, they're all up, down, up, down, up, down. Then there's all the pickup patterns. And the plain weave is D and E. I'm going to start, have to remember where D and E is. A, B, C, D. You just click on it, and it puts the heddle in neutral. And we're going to do DE 4 times for a total of 8 picks. So there's my, looks nice and looks like plain weave. Now we're going to do the pattern, and this should be pretty easy. We're just going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I did something wrong. H, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know how to count. And I'm going to repeat that all the way up. So we've already defined what each pick is up above. Then we just have to tell it here on the right what order to do all these. Oh, and I just noticed. Okay, I'm just going to get through this first. Yeah. I just noticed that on some of the picks, the heddle is showing that it should be in the up position. I don't know that that will make a difference since, there we go. So I have all the patterns in, and you can see the pinwheel pattern, how it kind of comes around here. There's a little pinwheel. I didn't notice when I did this before. I don't know if it makes a difference. It does not. Okay. For some reason it's showing up, when in reality, these are all in neutral except for what we could signify. It's not allowing this. Okay, another excellent thing that came up. I'm not quite sure what it means, but if I wanted to, this is up heddle, down heddle, and this will allow me to indicate it as being up, but this won't allow me to be down. I'm just going to remove this all together. But here's the pattern. It doesn't matter having these in up, but I want to get this as close as possible to what you'll actually be doing. So we have our 8 picks of plain weave, and then here's the 8 patterns. So this is a way to get the pinwheel pattern in the Not So Rigid Designer app. And I just realized I wanted to do plain weave at the top as well. So I can change this to DE. I want the top to mirror the bottom. So it's just that easy to click on the sticks or patterns that you want. And if I make it a little smaller, there it is, there's the pinwheel. So in order to share this pattern with somebody, they would have to know more about the pattern, that in reality it is warped normally in slots and holes, which you'd have to do for the plain weave picks, or you could weave the heddle in neutral and go over under every thread, which would take forever, as this pattern already is kind of time consuming. So you still need to know about the pattern in order for this diagram to make sense. But you could look at it and understand that A is the pickup stick is under the first 4 threads and over the second 4 all across the warp. And I'm going to save it again. You can make a copy of this, so you don't have to recreate it from scratch. You can create a copy and modify it, change the colors, mess with the pattern. You can download the image. You click on this, it downloads it as a PNG file. And I showed this before, you can change the size of the image. You could also add up to 10 pickup sticks. It allows up to 3 heddles, and you can remove and add weft and warp. You can change the warp from holes to slots. You can toggle those, and there are some colors. I know there's a new feature I haven't used for the color editor. You can get more colors than what you see here. I haven't tried that yet. And I still am not quite sure what allow multiple pickup patterns in a row means. I need to mess with that as well. But this is just a quick demonstration of how to put the pinwheel pattern in the Not So Rigid Designer.